rich, let's get famous. Baby, let's get rich, let's get famous. Yeah.
Alright guys, so I'm going to be reviewing the Bobby Lytes versus Rolling Ring conversation episode, so let's get into that. First of all, I feel like Zeus does like a terrible job with like the editing and shit like that. Like, first of all, I feel like they always dragging out like the behind the scenes and the dressing room footage. Like that should be like 30 minutes long. Like for what? Get to the point. But anyway, so basically Rolling Ray, Bobby, they all pull up in cars and they go to their dressing room. So I'm going to start with what Bobby was saying in his dressing room. So it was Bobby, and I guess Bobby brought Zell swag from Women Hip Hop. So Zell was like, Bobby, why are we here? And then Bobby was like that he want to talk to Rolling Ray to see like what's the issue. Hopefully Ray can find some healing with this, and that Ray shouldn't be trolling everybody talking about people's dead relatives, and that's not a good look for him. I don't know who dead relatives Ray was talking on. Like, if he was doing that, that's disrespectful. But like, who was he talking about? Like, who's dead who? Like, you know what I'm saying? But I guess Rolling Ray made like a video like 2 or 3 years ago talking about Bobby's a flop. He shouldn't be a little hip hop. And I guess Bobby saw it. Just how the problem started. But it turns out Bobby asked for the conversation with Ray, talking about he didn't want to meet up with Ray like outside, like on the street somewhere, because you know, since Ray's disabled, he might have like a gun to protect himself. He didn't want to get shot for that. But then he also was saying that he don't want to fight Ray, like it's not fair. He's in a wheelchair. Zell was like, if he hits you, go slap the shit out of his boyfriend, because Ray brought his boyfriend with him. Me personally, I don't care. If you hit me, I'm gonna hit you back. I'm not gonna go slap one of your people. I'm gonna just slap you, but that's just me. But yeah, they kept talking about it, like it was getting dragged on, but Bobby was like, that's why he got set on fire. Like, God don't like ugly. And his friends was like, Bobby, don't say that. And I'm just like, damn. But yeah, Bobby feels like Ray tears down people to build himself up. I don't know if that's true. I don't really pay attention to them like that. But Zell was telling Bobby that he shouldn't even entertain Ray. Like, just ignore him in the comments, shit like that. And I think that's crazy because if y'all watch some in hip-hop, like Zell, he's a negative person in my opinion. Like, I don't know, but he's acting real mature in this episode. I'm like, okay. So yeah, that's Bobby's point of view. So now I'm on Ray. So Ray goes in his dressing room. He's with his boyfriend and some girl. I don't know the girl's name or anything like that. Ray, he's just asking them like, what should they do? And basically, they was just telling him to like, you know, check Bobby if anything happens. You know, like put Bobby in his place. And then Ray was saying that he wants to have an actual conversation, but like if Bobby gets cute, that's gonna trigger him and make him upset. Like I said, I really don't keep up with them like that, but Ray is claiming like for 3 years now, Bobby's always on the Shade Room comments, Hollywood Unlocked comments, the Insight comments on Instagram just talking shit about him. I don't know. If that's true, confirm it in the comments for me. It says that Bobby's always hiding behind Trina. I guess Trina and Bobby are cousins. I didn't know that. So he's always hiding behind Trina, always hiding behind Chloe Ray, Santana, Carisha. Carisha, but yeah, Miami basically. I mean, I know Ray had beef with them, but I didn't know Bobby was like hiding behind them. So I'm kind of like confused about that part. But he was saying that he feels bad for Bobby because Bobby's just Trina's cousin. Like, everybody loves Bobby because of Trina. Like, Bobby don't get no money, he don't make no music. Like, why is he wearing hip hop? He don't got a storyline basically. So that's that. Like, you know, it gets dragged out again. That's like the important parts. Then finally it's time to have the conversation. So Bobby goes out there first. He takes out his vape, takes a puff, and then like he's sitting down for like a hot minute. Like he got bored taking pictures, making videos and shit like that, and he's still sitting that way. And then he's like, "Yeah, I gotta go get him. Like it's hot. Like what's the hold up?" Then Ray comes out, and I ain't gonna lie, Bobby was trying to be funny. Because when Ray came out, he was like, "Don't run into the piano." Like, why would you say that? Like you kind of pissed him off in a way. Then they start going tick for tat, like, oh, you're happy I'm here, you're happy to be in my presence, like, you know, goofy shit like that. That's when Ray, like, he takes his wheelchair in, like, a circle around Bobby. He like, oh, I run around bitches like you, I intimidate people like you, I'm a Virgo. I was weak. That part was, like, the funniest part. And then Ray was like, oh, see, you didn't do nothing, And Bobby was like, oh, stay back, it's COVID, stay 6 feet. Security didn't do nothing about that, like, let's let it happen. So Ray was basically telling Bobby to pop off. He's like, oh, my hands are faster, my wheels are faster. That part had me screaming. I'm like, oh my god. So then Bobby's like, listen to the point, like, why you always talking about me? Like, what's the problem? Then Ray's like, oh, what's your problem? Why you always gotta get Santana and Carisha and them involved? Like, they just kept going back and forth. The conversation was not going nowhere. Like, I can't even break it down for y'all. Like, and then half the time Ray was speaking, I couldn't understand him. So just like, it was just frustrating. So Ray, he didn't press like this button on his wood shit that makes it sound like a flat line, like he's dead or something like that. And he's like, for like 2 minutes straight. And then Bobby's like, oh, his wheelchair died. His wheelchair died. And Ray wake up like, oh, I just came back from the day, staring at that girl. That part was funny too. I'm just like, okay, I just trolling each other now. Bobby's like, I'm older than you. I'm 30, you're 25. Then Ray's like, oh, you're old, you're old. I'm just like, what the heck? That's when Bobby brings up him being Britain at fire. And Ray got mad about that. And I'm just like, I just can't. The conversation was not going nowhere. Like, I just can't. It just really wasn't. So then Bobby was like, go join the Special Olympics. And then Ray was like, you're Trina's cousin. That's it. That's all people know you for. He was like, oh, you're on hip hop because of Trina. You got that watch from Trina. Like, he just kept saying everything that Bobby does because of Trina. And then Ray was like, if you're on hip hop, why you doing OnlyFans? You had hip hop money already. And then Bobby's like, oh, don't worry about me, don't worry about me. So then Ray's like, you got no storyline. I didn't watch hip hop my name. I didn't really like it. But basically, I guess season 1, Bobby's dad was in jail. And then Bobby didn't want to bail him out. So then Bobby claims that him and his dad are not close. And then Ray was like, oh, me and my dad are not close neither. But I'll bail my dad out for only $3,000. And then Ray was like, using your dad for a storyline. And then Bobby kind of made like this face like, oh shit, how did he know that? And then Ray was like, Ray called him out, and he's like, oh, you're fake, you're a traitor, you use people for storylines. And then Bobby said, don't worry about me, don't worry about me. So, you know, Beyonce gets brought up. Bobby's like, oh, I met Beyonce. And then Ray was like, oh, I know Beyonce. I talked to Beyonce on the phone. Then Bobby's like, oh, I was in her presence. And then Ray was like, because of Trina. And I'm just like, it's a cycle, just keep repeating. But there's gonna be a part 2, so that's really it. Like, that's all that happened in part 1. The conversation was stupid, in my opinion. But I'm gonna watch part 2 and video for you guys as well. What did you guys think of this conversation? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.